Imagine feeling trapped in a cycle where every step forward feels like two steps back. You sense that you're meant for something greater, yet your actions repeatedly pull you down. What if I told you that there exists a dangerous trait, a collection of behaviors that limits you more than failure, bad luck, or even ignorance? According to Stoic philosophy, many of us unwittingly fall into traps that prevent our growth. These aren't solely about intellectual capacity, but are tied to our self-awareness and willingness to learn. Today I'm going to share with you 9 unmistakable signs of foolishness, a set of pitfalls that can hinder your progress and keep you mired in mediocrity. As someone who has spent years researching and practicing Stoicism, I have learned that true wisdom begins with recognizing our mistakes and transforming them into opportunities for growth. In this narrative, I'll delve into each of these 9 signs, interweaving my personal experiences and relatable stories. My hope is that you will gain clarity, reflect on your own habits, and ultimately break free from the behaviors that keep you from reaching your full potential. So are you ready to explore the truth? Let's dive in and uncover these signs that might be holding you back and learn how to overcome them with the power of Stoic wisdom. One of the most fundamental indicators of unwise behavior is an inability to learn from one's mistakes. Many individuals become trapped in a cycle of failure, not because they lack intelligence, but because they are unwilling to reflect on and adjust their actions. Instead of taking responsibility, they often blame external factors like fate, circumstances, or other people. In contrast, Stoicism teaches us that obstacles are not barriers, but opportunities for growth. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic thinkers, believed that every misstep offers a lesson that, if learned, can propel us toward wisdom. I recall a time early in my professional career when I repeatedly made the same financial miscalculations in business deals. Every time I encountered a setback, I would attribute it to bad luck or unforeseen circumstances. It wasn't until I began keeping a detailed journal of my decisions and outcomes that I recognized the pattern. I realized that my unwillingness to learn from past errors was costing me not only money, but also valuable opportunities for growth. By shifting my focus from external blame to internal reflection, I slowly began to adjust my strategies. Over time, those repeated mistakes turned into stepping stones toward more informed, wiser decisions. Reflect and journal. Keep track of your decisions and the outcomes. Over time, patterns will emerge. Ask for feedback. Seek honest insights from trusted mentors or friends. Embrace change. Accept that mistakes are part of the learning process and use them to improve your future actions. Complaining about life's unfairness without taking any proactive steps to improve your situation is a common trap. It's easy to fall into the habit of whining about your circumstances, but the Stoics remind us that action is what transforms our reality. Complaints, when left unchecked, can drain your energy and keep you stuck in a state of helplessness. Instead of focusing on problems, you should channel that energy into creating solutions. I once worked with a colleague who was known for his incessant complaining. Every meeting was filled with lamentations about how unfair the system was, yet he never offered a single idea for change. His constant negativity not only affected his own morale, but also dampened the spirit of the entire team. I decided to approach the situation differently by not joining in the complaints, and instead proposing concrete solutions. Over time, I noticed that the energy in our team shifted. While my colleague remained stuck in his cycle, others were inspired by the focus on action and progress. This experience reinforced my belief that real strength lies in addressing challenges head-on rather than drowning in perpetual complaints. Focus on solutions. When a problem arises immediately, ask yourself what you can do to change it. Cultivate a growth mindset. Believe that every challenge is an opportunity to learn and improve. Practice gratitude. Recognize the positives in your life to offset the urge to complain. Self-discipline is the foundation of personal freedom. Without it, you become a slave to your impulses, constantly procrastinating, succumbing to distractions, and failing to do the hard work necessary for success. The Stoics taught that discipline is not about restricting your life, but about making choices that serve your long-term well-being. Those who lack self-discipline find themselves caught in endless cycles of poor decisions and missed opportunities. In my early days, I struggled with procrastination. I'd often put off important tasks until the last minute, and the stress of rushing through my work left me dissatisfied and unfulfilled. I realized that my lack of discipline was not a sign of laziness, but rather a failure to prioritize my long-term goals. I began to set clear daily routines and small, achievable targets. Over time, the consistency of my efforts built a foundation of self-discipline that transformed my productivity and overall quality of life. I learned that every moment of focus and restraint was an investment in my future self. Establish routines. Create a daily schedule that includes dedicated time for important tasks. Set clear goals. Break down your long-term goals into manageable, actionable steps. Eliminate distractions. Identify what distracts you most and take steps to minimize its impact. Stubbornness is often mistaken for strength, but when it comes without logic, it becomes a major hindrance to progress. People who are unwilling to entertain alternative viewpoints and adapt their thinking are trapped in a narrow existence. Stoic philosophy teaches that wisdom comes from being open to new ideas and continuously learning. A closed mind prevents personal development and keeps you stuck in outdated beliefs. I once encountered a situation where I was convinced that a particular strategy would guarantee success in a project. Despite evidence to the contrary, I remained stubbornly committed to my initial plan, dismissing any suggestions for change. As the project faltered, I realized that my rigidity was not only limiting my potential, but also causing me unnecessary stress. Through reflection and discussion with colleagues who had a more flexible approach, I learned to adapt my strategy based on new information. This shift in mindset not only salvaged the project, but also taught me the value of open-mindedness. Seek diverse opinions. Engage with people who have different perspectives and challenge your assumptions. Be open to feedback. View constructive criticism as an opportunity to learn rather than a personal attack. Reflect regularly. Consider what new information you have learned and how it might change your approach. The past is a part of who you are, but clinging to it can prevent you from moving forward. People who hold on to regrets, grudges, or past mistakes are trapped in a cycle that saps their energy and limits their potential. Stoic philosophy teaches that the past is a lesson, not a burden. By letting go of what has already happened, you open yourself up to the infinite possibilities of the present. There was a time when I was haunted by a series of past failures. I would replay old mistakes in my mind, allowing them to shape my current decisions. This constant focus on the past left me feeling stagnant and unworthy of future success. I made a conscious decision to let go first, by acknowledging the lessons each failure had taught me, and then by committing to live fully in the present. With time, I found that releasing the weight of the past allowed me to embrace new opportunities with enthusiasm and confidence. I learned that true freedom lies in moving forward without the chains of yesterday. Practice forgiveness. Forgive yourself and others for past mistakes. It's a gift you give to your future self. Focus on the present. Engage fully with what is happening now, rather than dwelling on what was. Create new goals, channel your energy into building a future that excites you, rather than fixating on past disappointments. A common sign of unwise behavior is the habit of shifting blame onto others, rather than taking responsibility for your actions. When things go wrong, it's easy to point fingers, but this not only prevents personal growth, it also strips you of your power to change your circumstances. Stoicism teaches us that we are responsible for our own lives, and that true progress comes from acknowledging our mistakes and learning from them. I once worked with a colleague who was infamous for always blaming external factors for every mishap. His refusal to accept responsibility created a toxic work environment and stunted his personal growth. Witnessing this, I made a conscious effort to own my mistakes and use them as learning opportunities. The difference was palpable. I began to improve in areas where I had previously struggled, and I gained the respect of my peers for my honesty and accountability. This experience reinforced my belief that taking responsibility is not a sign of weakness, but a cornerstone of true wisdom. Self-reflect. When a mistake happens, ask yourself what you could have done differently instead of immediately blaming others. Learn and adapt. View every error as an opportunity for growth. Practice humility. Recognize that everyone makes mistakes and that the key is to learn from them. Overconfidence can be a significant hindrance, especially when it is not backed by real knowledge or understanding. Some people speak with absolute certainty about everything, even when they lack true insight. In Stoic philosophy, true wisdom begins with acknowledging how much there is still to learn. Overconfidence, on the other hand, is often a mask for insecurity and prevents you from growing and learning. I recall a time when I too was guilty of overconfidence. I was certain that my approach to a challenging project was infallible, dismissing advice from others as unnecessary. However, when unforeseen obstacles arose, I was forced to confront the reality that my knowledge was incomplete. It was a humbling experience that taught me the importance of balancing confidence with a willingness to learn. I began actively seeking feedback and remained open to new ideas, which not only improved my performance, but also enriched my understanding of the subject matter. Over time, I realized that true strength lies in acknowledging one's limitations and continuously striving to learn more. Stay curious. Always ask questions and seek out new information. Admit when you don't know. Recognize that it's okay not to have all the answers. Encourage constructive criticism. Embrace feedback as a tool for growth, not as a threat to your ego. Arrogance is one of the clearest signs of a person stuck in their own delusions. When someone acts as if they have all the answers, dismissing advice and wisdom from others, they close themselves off to opportunities for learning and self-improvement. The Stoics champion humility and recognize that wisdom is a lifelong pursuit. Arrogance not only blinds you to your own flaws, but also keeps you from evolving into a better version of yourself. I have witnessed and at times even exhibited a form of arrogance in my early career, believing that I had all the necessary knowledge and dismissing constructive criticism. However, as I grew and experienced more, I realized that every piece of advice and every critique was an opportunity to improve. I learned to listen, reflect, and adjust my beliefs accordingly. This shift not only enriched my understanding, but also helped me build more genuine relationships based on mutual respect. I now see that true strength lies in humility, the willingness to admit that you do not have all the answers, and that there is always room for growth. Practice self-reflection. Regularly evaluate your actions and be honest about your limitations. Embrace humility. Acknowledge that every expert was once a beginner. Learn from others. Surround yourself with people who challenge you and help you grow. A particularly insidious mistake is tying your self-worth to the validation of others. When you constantly seek approval from those around you, you relinquish control of your identity and allow your happiness to depend on external factors. The Stoics remind us that true confidence must come from within. Your value is inherent and should not be determined by the fleeting opinions of others. For many years, I struggled with the need for external validation, whether it was through praise at work or recognition in my personal life. I found myself chasing approval as a measure of my self-worth. This constant need left me vulnerable to disappointment and manipulation. It wasn't until I embraced the Stoic principle that true power comes from within that I learned to validate myself. I began celebrating my achievements, privately setting personal goals, and affirming my own worth without looking for external applause. This shift allowed me to cultivate a deep, unshakable confidence that no one could take away. Affirm your worth. Develop a daily practice of self-affirmation, reminding yourself of your strengths and achievements. Invest in your passions. Focus on what you love and what makes you feel alive, rather than on what others think. Celebrate small wins. Recognize that every step forward is a testament to your worth, independent of external opinions. After exploring these 8 critical mistakes, let's consolidate the key insights that can help you navigate the delicate moments when someone from your past reaches out. Reacting immediately. Take a pause and let your emotions settle before you respond. An impulsive reaction can give away your power too, seeking closure from them. True closure comes from within, not from someone else's explanation or apology. 3. Ignoring your own needs. Always prioritize self-care and remember that your emotional health is paramount. 4. Letting past pain cloud your judgment, remain objective and focus on the present rather than being dragged down by past wounds. 5. Over-explaining yourself. Trust that if your decisions are made with clarity, they need no excessive justification. 6. Overthinking. Avoid getting trapped in endless analysis. Focus on clear, actionable steps. 7. Holding on to anger and resentment. Let go of past hurt to free yourself from the chains of bitterness. Expecting them to change you. Understand that real change must come from within. Do not rely on others to transform your inner world. In the end, when someone from your past reaches out, you face a choice. You can let old wounds dictate your response, or you can harness the wisdom of Stoicism to reclaim your inner peace and self-worth. The 8 mistakes we've discussed are not just pitfalls to avoid. They serve as signposts guiding you toward a more empowered, balanced life. Reflect on your own experiences. Have you ever reacted impulsively and later regretted it? Do you find yourself seeking closure from someone who isn't willing to give it? Are you neglecting your own needs in the hope of rekindling a lost connection? Have past hurts clouded your judgment, leading you to make decisions based on unresolved pain? My journey has taught me that the power to move forward lies entirely within you. Instead of waiting for someone else to validate your worth or change their ways, focus on cultivating your own inner strength. Embrace moments of stillness. Invest in personal growth, set firm boundaries, and above all, trust in your own judgment. When you do so, you not only protect your peace, but also pave the way for a future defined by genuine reciprocal relationships. Here are some actionable steps to help you reclaim your power. Pause before responding. Create a moment of stillness to assess your true feelings. Reflect on your needs. Consider whether engaging will enhance your well-being or pull you back into old cycles. Set clear boundaries. Define what behaviors you will no longer tolerate. Invest in self-care. Prioritize activities that nourish your body, mind, and soul. Embrace a growth mindset view. Each interaction as an opportunity to learn and evolve. Celebrate your independence. Acknowledge that your worth is inherent and unchangeable by external validation. By integrating these Stoic principles into your life, you become the master of your emotions and the architect of your destiny. You learn that your value does not diminish because someone from your past reaches out. Rather, it is reinforced by the clarity and wisdom with which you respond. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into Stoic wisdom. May these insights empower you to navigate the complexities of reconnecting with your past, to learn from each experience, and to always protect your inner peace. Remember, your happiness, dignity, and self-worth are in your hands, and no one else can take that away from you. If these reflections resonate with you, please share your thoughts and personal experiences in the comments below. How have you learned to protect your peace when old wounds resurface? Let's continue supporting one another on our journey toward emotional self-mastery and genuine personal growth. Stay stoic, stay strong, and always value your inner strength above all else. In summary, the 8 mistakes to avoid when someone from your past reaches out remind us that the power to define your own worth comes from within. By not reacting impulsively, seeking closure externally, neglecting your needs, dwelling on past pain, over-explaining, overthinking, holding on to anger, or expecting others to change you, you reclaim your power. Embrace these Stoic insights, cultivate your inner growth, and let your wisdom guide you toward a brighter, more empowered future.